actually complements our guest today. So the book actually is about, she writes about warnings, mirrors, and maps, and the whole basis of her story is about not God is comfort, not God is tradition, not God is in control, but God is change, and how we bring those things back to ourselves and then subsequently to our communities. I just thought it was fascinating, and I might see if I can get Rita to chime in on it a little bit later. But I think, was Key ready? Yeah, it's a really good book. And with the climate in the world today, it just, there's so many parallels. And mind you, she wrote these two books because she actually wrote two books. I'm only on book one. I don't know how I ended up never reading these books because I'm a very avid reader. So how I miss Miss Octavia Butler is beyond me. But she wrote these books back in the 90s, y'all, book one and two. And when I tell you the parallels between our climate today and what happened in these books that she wrote, and I'm convinced that she was a seer. I'm convinced that she was tapped in just because of the way she framed the books, the way she brought the information. I'm probably going to go live on my own page Saturday so I can talk about this book in depth because it literally got me in some spaces today. I've been reading it all day, so
Yes. So I want to read that book as well. So you have to text me the name of the book so that I can purchase it. Because I'm an
okay.
avid reader. I have bookshelves and bookshelves and bookshelves.
It look, when I tell you, I'm not to give the book away for those people like me who have never read the book, but when she started, in the book, the world as we know it had changed. And the a lot of things that I see now are like, and Alaska even ends up in the book seceding from the US and becoming part of Canada. I'm not going to go all into it, but just let me tell y'all the book. And when I say I feel like, and I feel like that about a lot of things in the world, not just books but music, a lot of the arts I see, these people are definitely in their flow state. I believe they definitely intuitively were able to tap into these things and bring these things to us from their higher selves. But that's a conversation for another podcast, I guess. But if you have not read her, I highly recommend that you put that on your reading list. Octavia Butler. She is amazing.
Yes, I will do that for sure. So thank you for sharing that with us because now I'm interested and intrigued to go read this book. So I'm going to go get that book. So you send it to me. So,
I will, because I got some questions for Rita while I was reading this book. Because, like I said, I think she was, I believe she was of Oracle. I wanted to clarify that when I said seer, but I believe, and so I had some questions for Rita about some things I wanted her opinion about, her feedback on. So go ahead and do your intro, sis. You see, I'm excited about this book.
yeah, so look, let me go ahead and just bring Miss Rita right on up with us. Let me send her invite. But as I send her this invite, I just want to give a little backstory on who Rita is and Jermaine. We're not gonna leave Mr. Rita, that's what I call him, out of this. So after 7 years together, we've learned that they have learned that love in a family doesn't mean always seeing things the same way. They honor each other's space even while being fully present. They focus on growing themselves first so that they can pour that love and energy into each other, into their kids. Because the truth is, the love does start within. It naturally flows to everyone around them when they do this. So I'm excited. I am so excited. Uh, Look, I'm like, who is that? Now I know. Now I know Mr. Gray Moose over here. That's Mr. Jermaine there. How you doing today, sir?
Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Grand Rising, everybody.
Grand Rising. So look, y'all in the same house?
Yeah, I'm thinking. Let me make sure. Let me mute.
What's there y'all go. How you doing today?
Uh-oh, they might have to sit in separate rooms.
Nah, they can, well, one of them unmute.
Yeah, one of them got to unmute.
There
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
We're doing
And
great though. To start this all over again, we're doing great.
Yes.
No complaint.
okay.
I
And
am.
I think it's a perfect time too because Valentine's Day, bah humbug. Valentine's Day right around the corner, and, and love is in the air, and conversations about love, and conversations about what it takes to maintain and thrive in relationships. And I think the spiritual aspect adds another layer to it. So I'm interested to hear what they are bringing to the table today. I think it's a conversation we should all have because, especially, I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm single, and I've been back on the scene trying to find love. And then I actually said to myself last night, "Do I really want to be in a relationship?" I had to really think about this thing because sometimes you think that you can feel the void that you might be feeling, or you might not even be feeling the void. It's just the expectation that grown people supposed to be in relationships, right?
Yeah.
But I'm starting to discover that I am in a relationship. I just didn't know I'm in a relationship with me. And
Yes.
I'm most content with that relationship because I can spend me money and be in me house and be by myself and be all right.
I love it. So I actually had that same conversation with myself recently. And I came to the conclusion that yeah, I just want to stay in this relationship with myself for the moment. And I don't want to look for love. I want love to attract to me. So when it's ready, it'll come to me.
That's right.
So,
And it won't hurt if love attached to a big old bank account.
It won't.
that part.
It won't at all.
It won't hurt.
Yes, I love it. So Rita, I'll just jump right on in because I know V got some questions too, and I got some questions, but we just ultimately want to let the conversation flow. But I always come up with questions just to kind of keep me on because I get sidetracked.
Kick it off. Kick it off.
Yes.
So Rita, you once walked the path of an ordained minister. Let's go back. Let's pause right there because I don't know if everyone knows that she was once an ordained minister and now she's an oracle. So that's fascination within itself. But you was once a ordained minister and later made the decision to step away from religion. What was the transition like for you internally, spiritually, emotionally, and personally?
It was crazy, I would say. Worried about what people was gonna think when I was walking away. It was once I lost one of my cousins, and right before she passed, she was trying to tell me the church is witchcraft. The church is witchcraft. But we never got to have that conversation. She was able to tell me, and then her health, she caught cancer, a rare cancer, some type of kidney cancer, and I say within a week she was gone.
Wow.
Yeah. And that woke me up. Like when I went back to church, calm down, Rita. When I went back to church, it was really heavy on me because I felt like I was an outcast. I felt like in the church I was the black sheep and nobody understood my thoughts and what I was going through. And so I used to be in my own little world, praising and worshiping, like in this corner. They knew that was my place. But this Sunday, I'm watching everything. And it's like I hear God saying, like, look at her. She fake worshiping. She fake praising. She this and she that. And, it was like, I don't know, I kind of felt weird. Like, am I judging them? But then after a while, it was like I couldn't go back. And I started hearing Spirit tell me to tell the pastor now, tell them. But I was afraid. And one day while I was sitting at my work desk, I had to. I went into, I think it was group meet we had at the time. And I sent them a message telling them that I really appreciate everything that y'all done for me. Like I learned a lot. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm leaving the church. And that was a problem. I was a lost sheep. They told me that they feel bad for my soul, that I'm going to be lost and confused. Oh yeah, baby. We was on that phone battling. Yeah. It made me call them on break. And I say made me because when they said some things, then my higher self, now that I know better, made me get on that motherfucking phone and yeah, now we finna talk. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's insane because as a child, I knew I didn't belong in the church, but I was raised in the church, and I dare not tell my grandmama I don't belong here. And then I got shunned for asking questions because I was inquisitive. I wanted to know, like, make it make sense to me.
Yeah.
You know, I just wanted, I never told them I didn't believe in God. I just wanted it to make sense to me.
Yeah.
You can't give me something and expect for me to just go off of what you said. I've never been that way.
Yeah.
And so when I was told don't question God, you know, I went through my life cycles and I was afraid to question and ask questions. And then it got to the point where it's like, how can I have an authentic relationship with someone I can't question?
Yeah.
You know? And so from there, I started to ask questions and it started to be revealed. So I love that you followed your higher self. It took me a while. As I can hear that it took you a while as well, but we got there. So grateful for that.
I wasn't raised in the church though. No.
Wow.
Off girl. Parents was doing their thing. Abandonment draw me to the church. I was looking for something, Keisha. I didn't know what, but I was looking for peace. I was looking for answers. Like you said, I was looking for an outlet. And so we were raised on the bottle, not the Bible. And I'm talking about liquor bottles, not a baby bottle. So, but I've always knew, like my grandma and them had the Bible open to Psalms 23. And then I seen the Serenity Prayer on plaques in the bathroom. So I knew it was some type of communication or something. So as I grew older, I got myself into church. My mom kind of introduced me to it, but then when the church kind of like shunned us because I got pregnant, that's what drew my mother away from it. But then when I got grown, I went back into it. And so here I am with being a minister for years, thinking that this is the way. And after that, even being married as a minister to a man of God at that time, he was judgmental too.
Yes.
No support at all.
So I definitely want to ask before I'm sorry V, but I'm gonna let V ask her question. But I just got one more question. Do you feel as though because you were not raised in the church that it helped you with your transition into following your higher self and your true calling? Because I personally feel that being raised in the church, it was harder for me to walk away from religion because of it.
Definitely. Again, I was looking for something. So I said, well, they say try Jesus. I did. He didn't work for me. Not trying to say it like that, yeah, because the whole time we shouting out the wrong name. You know, to me, this what sits with me. To anybody that still say Jesus, is no shade, but this Yah is who I know. You know, so I was really upset because we was yelling out the wrong name. It was a whole bunch of stuff that was just lies. And so when I felt that top, you know, I couldn't go higher. And I'm like, this can't be it. So that's when I ended up leaving because it wasn't doing enough for me. So absolutely, it was absolutely for sure an extra add-on to help me to break away from it because I wasn't raised in it. So it was like, yeah, this ain't doing it. Next, like literally, literally, what's next? Yeah.
Absolutely, I love it. Go ahead, V. I'm sorry.
I was just going to point out that most of the people I know that weren't raised in the church, when they do actually come into the church, that they go harder than the people that have been there the entire time because they are there looking for something. A lot of people raised in the church were there out of obligation and tradition. That's what they were raised to do, blah, blah, blah. Not saying all, but a lot of them. But people who come into it in their latter, you know, adult life or whatever, because of whatever drove them to look for Christ or whatever, they would be the most judgmental. Not saying you, Rita. They would be the most judgmental. They would be the most. They be like, you know how Medea said they so saved you couldn't say nothing to them. They be like that type of shit. Like you'd be like, damn, you can't even talk to these moles.
That was me. That's how I was doing him.
Yeah.
When he started to come back in my life, I wasn't having it.
Because me, I don't practice a religion. I don't believe in any of it. I'm just gonna put it out there. but I don't try to convert people to where I'm at because I don't give a damn. You know, you do you, I'm gonna do me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I find that, you know, it's never enough for them to just for us to just respect each other's mutual belief systems. It's always a matter of convert and conquer. You know, and I can't stand that. You know, I be trying so hard to be respectful, and then they want to go toe to toe for me. Well, I was raised in the church too. I know the Bible just like you do. Just because I don't believe in it don't mean I don't know it. So I try to avoid those type of conversations because I'm at a point in my life where seriously, I don't mean it to sound ugly, but my energy going into V, how V moving, what V, you know, my growth. But do you think that that causes a lot of, is it harder to be in the spiritual space when you come from a religious background and you're around different people with all different belief systems and different practices?
Absolutely. The hardest part is spirituality be judged even if the person isn't a Christian. Why? Because the matrix is Christianized. So the person don't have to, they don't have to be raised in church, but they remember their grandmother knew of church and her spirituality is that, that ain't the way. Christian, my grandmother said. So rather if they in church and they walking the walk, talking the talk, baby grandma said. So the judgment of spirituality, of course, it was way worse. Way worse. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My brother, who I don't consider, you know, well, now he's all in church, but I used to wonder because, you know, people will cherry pick which parts they're going to uphold, you know, and he would be so busy because, you know, he has a real issue with people in the LGBTQ community. Okay. And I'd be thinking to myself, but dude, you got like 2 kids and you want me. It's just funny to me how you say you live in this life, but you're not really practicing what you preach unless it's something uncomfortable for you. And that's a segue to the next question I want to ask, because I told you I want to ask you about this book because now I'm all fascinated by this book.
Look, that was a great question though, V, because I feel as if people do judge because they are masking something within themselves. I've always said that.
And that was going to bring me to my question about Rita being an oracle too. How do you, when you're teaching your classes and people how to, you know, do oracleship, is that the right way to phrase it, oracleship?
You can say that. We all do relationship, oracleship.
How do you help them distinguish between what spirit is giving them and their own projections?
Well, first, we definitely have to know ego from higher self. Definitely. And I let them know too is the first thing is as an oracle, you're supposed to seek yourself. That's the first thing. That's what the word tells us. Whether you a Christian, religion, whatever, I don't care what you practicing. If you're not seeking yourself, knowing yourself, that's gonna be a problem. I tell my students to definitely seek yourself, know yourself, because then you'll know what energy is yours and what's not yours. You have to be able to tell that. You need to know what voice is yours, what voice is not yours. Who is this? You know, sometimes attachments can be attached to you, and now you're thinking you're hearing your higher self, and it's not, you know? So the best thing I would say is sit with yourself. You definitely, solitude is the best. You can't tap into your oracle insight if you don't spend time with yourself. You ain't gonna be able.
And I think I jumped ahead. For those in the audience, the chat, who may not understand what an oracle is, can you give them a layman definition of what an oracle is?
Yes. An oracle is a woman or a male. But what I've done with the study is, as far as oracle, it leans more to me. This is my perspective on women. Why? Because the portal, which is the woman's area, right? We have that insight, and we are the ones that can really, like, I feel like it's a stronger connection with source, with God. So an oracle is one who is able to hear from source, get direct message from source, feel source energy, feel source power, and able to give people the insight and the answers that they need to go throughout their journey.
So what's the main responsibility of an oracle in the space that they're doing? I want to say oracleship, but what is your responsibility in that space? Do you know what I mean? Like as your job? What is your main duty? What are you trying to bring to the person as an oracle?
Um, them and God. I want to step out. I'm going to be the vessel. And then once you hear from source, your higher self, your inner self, that's what I'm connecting you to. Then I'm out the way. Yeah, I'm out the way. Then I'm like he said, I'm going to bring you to the water, but you take a sip. The sip is you trusting, though. I can't make you drink it. You know, you got to trust that in that cup. It's all right. It's okay. It's going to get you that connection. It's going to get you that bond with God, not with me. I don't want you stuck with me.
It's like being thirsty and you've been working out all day and then you finally get a chance to get some water. Don't that feel good?
Yeah, yeah. So you're saying it's guidance, not influence.
Definitely. No force flow. Yep.
I like that.
Yeah.
Hi, Jamar, and welcome in everyone and joining our chat with the beautiful Rita and her husband. And I'm sorry, I didn't catch his name. I see great moves.
Jermaine.
Jermaine. So
Yes.
Rita and Jermaine are joining us today. We're going to be talking about the title. The topic is in the chat as well. From pulpit to oracle, love beyond labels, and dating while awake.
Yeah.
Some people I wish I could date while I was asleep. I ain't gonna lie.
You probably got to practice that one first, though. Walking that thing blind.
I promised myself I was gonna be good today, so I'm gonna be quiet and let Keith take over.
Comedian. She really is.
B is hilarious. I love her. I love her. She is raw and hilarious. What you see is what you get. I love it. So
Well, dating. Are we gonna start with the dating? I want to make sure everybody understands what Rita's role is, what her spiritual calling is as an oracle. Because when I first heard oracle, you know, when my mind went to the Matrix. When I first came into the spiritual community, then I heard people saying oracle. I kept thinking, oh, they talk about that woman from the Matrix. Because that's the only, you know, exposure. Yeah, that's what and so I had to actually go look it up and understand the role of the oracle so I could understand what your role was. Because it's a little different from, I mean, some people make it interchangeable, like psychic and oracle. But there's some distinct differences there.
Yeah.
Could you explain? Could you elaborate what they are? Just so they will know?
Well, when I did my full research, because I didn't want to be using the name and I didn't know exactly what it was, right? And I really sat with God like, I would prefer to be an oracle than a psychic. Why? Because a psychic to me is people giving you, like, you looking for the spirits to give you the message. An oracle go right directly to source. Directly to source. I didn't have that at first. Even when I was doing the Oracle Connect, it didn't connect, but I was walking in it because I was speaking it. It didn't connect until I had a moment when I did the live with Alicia and she had me talk to source, go to source and ask questions for those in the live. That's when I noticed that, whoa, shit, she activated it because I was okay with connecting. I said I was calling myself an Oracle and then there it was. So it was right in alignment. So directly to source, like, but it took me a while to even be comfortable with saying God said, you know what I mean? Now I know it's okay to say that because the confirmation and the things that people done brought back to me, who else is telling me this stuff? You know what I'm saying? To really be knowing like what people doing at that moment, something they just did probably 2 seconds ago, a conversation they just had with God, like, baby, that ain't nothing but direct connection. Yeah.
And taking your course helped me understand that, like, I was still struggling with trusting force. I was still struggling with trusting my inner knowing. And that's exactly what it was. It just helped me connect with my inner knowing more. So thank you for connect, because I didn't know. Remember, I told you, I don't even know what this class about. But I kept being drawn back to it. And I think I went to your page like 3 or 4 times before I finally took the course, but it was what I needed.
A
So
lot of people think it's to make money, you know, that it's about, oh, you know, doing the business of doing readings and stuff. You can do that if you want to afterwards. The main part is you hearing God for yourself. When God tell, okay, pause. Yeah, wait. when you should go, you know? And that way too, you won't be getting so many readings because you'll just be getting confirmation readings, but you won't be going crazy with the readings. Oh my God, because I gotta know. More so, you're gonna see with yourself. If you just really unsure at that moment, sometimes we still doubt ourselves sometimes. And then you go get confirmation, but an oracle don't need it all the time. An oracle do knows too that now that you divide, let me tell y'all this. One thing I will say is an oracle, baby, when you taking that title, you better walk by faith and not by sight. Okay? Because at that point when you connect with God, you don't know no more. Yeah. God won't tell you, but you can help everybody else, but you have to wait.
For me, it was just being an oracle is just the heightening of your claircognizance, your knowing. You know, I think that is what becoming an oracle is like, because that's what it did for me. Like, I was already claircognizant, but I think my knowing heightened. So I don't question or second guess it as much. Like, life is better for me because of it. Like, okay, nah, that wasn't God that said that, so let me move around, you know? So I'm grateful that I was led to take that course. Absolutely. So
And
we
it gives you perspective too. And I definitely teach you perspective. You got to see it all the way around, not just one way. And so we don't, and that too, we don't just do readings. We talk about your life like solutions to your problems, your situation. You know, things that we dealing with on a daily basis, arguments. An oracle should know how to handle that type of shit. You know what I mean? Like, we shouldn't be wrapped up because the oracle can see the person, why they mad, what they going through, what is this problem really is. You will really see that person where you ain't even wasting your time and your energy and your breath because you see they broken, you see they envious or whatever. So you would shut that shit down real quick. Like, I see what she going through. I ain't finna go there with her because what I'm gonna say in my ego gonna really mess her up. I ain't trying to hurt nobody. I want to heal. So that's another thing. It's not just that. Oracle Connect is also teaching you how to deal with people every day, work related, all of that. So you hear from God, so you know how to handle these situations. So you're ready to nuck if you buck, or you know, all of that.
How do you and Jermaine, as you being an oracle, how does it help you basically travel through conflict within your relationship with that spiritual aspect tied in? Am I being too personal?
That's a good question, baby. But that's good for people who trying to connect perspective. But I know I look into if I'm wrong before I like go to situations past. Before I was an oracle, baby, I just came. You know what? You pissed me off, and da-da-da, and he like, what is wrong with you? You know. But now I'm like, okay, baby, can we talk? Or I discern when it's the time to talk. And sometimes God just tell me to leave it alone, Rick. You being petty. That's petty. Y'all, you know, life is too short for that. So I know when to address things, when not to address things. Because, baby, this Leo.
be Leo in.
Well, I want to hear what Jermaine got to say. 'Cause he over there mighty quiet.
Yeah, so before we go there, though, with his answer to that question, we need a backstory on Jermaine. We got to get his backstory too, because the community don't know him. I call him Mr. Rita, but his name is Jermaine. Give us your backstory, Mr. Jermaine.
So the backstory on Gray Moose, that's my podcast name. I'm the Gray Moose because of hair circumstances. But backstory on me, born in Chicago, moved to Milwaukee. So I'm pretty much like half and half Milwaukee. I'm Chicago, Wisconsin. I'm going to say that. I ain't Chicago, Illinois. I'm Chicago, Wisconsin because I got the best of both. But I grew up in a church. I grew up in the church. I grew up learning the lie first. But along with the lie, I got a Haitian great grandma. I got a bunch of Indians in my family, and they always told me exactly what it was. So I understood the Bible, but I also understood the truth because I was getting the truth way more than I was getting that Bible. But I did have a parent that believed in the Bible. So she took me to church. But I was the kid that went to church that kind of like asked too many questions. Why God this? Why you ain't supposed to be questioning it? You ain't supposed to do this, to do that. That was me. I was getting kicked out. I was getting everything that could go wrong in the church. I didn't even really want to be there. But I had a certain sense that I knew that I had to be there because of Jesus. And, you know, what also I heard in one ear, I put two and two together because I love history growing up in school. And I put what my OGs told me, what I learned from the church, what I learned from school, digging in history my way. And I came up with what I would call the truth. And a lot of people doom reading Carl spiritualists and stuff like that. Well, again, I got a Haitian great grandma, and she was all about that. Mm-hmm. My aunties, my great aunties, I ain't gonna go into like detail of what exactly I seen as a kid, but we would know. Let's just say I got Haitian aunties, and they believed in the little monkey. Anybody ever heard about the little monkey? Hit him upside the head, consume the brain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's my people right there.
That's Indiana Jones type stuff, like.
But they gave me the word on. We're not going to go off of what Europeans is telling us. This is voodoo. We use this as protection. We use this as healing. We use this for loving and protecting each other. That's exactly what it's for. Anything else out of that, your ass is doomed with us. If you came over here and you brought it to us, and you don't think we're going to use these powers to get your ass up out of here, we definitely is. So now you're going to say we're evil, we're doing this, we're doing that. It's not here for that. Love, growth, and protection. Mm-hmm. So when Rita went into what she's on now, I didn't feel a certain type of way. I welcomed it. You know, I let her know, like, hey, this is a part of my background, but make sure you know what you're doing.
He kept saying that.
Make sure you know what you're doing before you go doing it, because, you know, you don't want to.
Yeah, even when with the cars, he was like, you know what you're doing with the cars. Make sure that's your history background. Like, you know, like he was really, and I took it as fear a little bit. I was getting upset.
Yeah, I was just, you know, my great grandma always told me to learn who you are. Figure out who you are. F what everybody else talking about. F that Bible. Figure out who you are. Go dig and go talk to people. But really find out who you are. That's the only way you're going to really align yourself. And so, you know, I've always did that. Like I said, as a kid, I've been big on history. So you can't come telling me Christopher Columbus pulled up to this bitch and wasn't nobody looking like me here.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
So you had a different perspective. So you had, I would say, the best of both worlds. You had transparency because you had the spiritual side as your influence and the religious side. So you had all of the information. Like you said, you just had to go and discern through it and find your truth. So I love that. I love that. And I could see with me, you, and V growing up in the church, I could see if they had detention, all our ass would have been in there every Sunday because we want to ask questions.
I'm just going to walk right in and go right to detention. I ain't even going to sit in right.
But you know where I'm at right now? I be thinking sometimes, you know, with the way we choose to come here and my belief, what if it's all true? What if all the things are true? And what if we're all living these different experiences through the different truths for a specific reason? And then it just makes all of the bumping heads and arguing about beliefs and da-da-da-da. It's just kind of redundant because we're all living these truths for a specific purpose in our life to find some. I mean, because I don't know. What do y'all think about that? Am I thinking too out? I just be thinking, what if it's all true?
No,
To some extent, for you, for your person, because every person has these different needs and beliefs, and their beliefs tie into the needs that they have and the progress they need to make. So what if it's just true for them? That doesn't mean that everybody else is wrong. It just means this is true for them and what they need to move forward.
This is
Because
what
the
you
one
need to
common
do.
denominator,
Yeah.
the one common denominator we all have, all of us know that there is a higher power.
Mhm.
I don't care what religion, whether you Buddhist, Islam, Christian, whatever. We all know there's a higher power. I wholeheartedly believe it's a higher power. I don't believe that there's only one way to the higher power. So your perspective, I love that, V. Now I'm a hood. Mr. Jermaine, you got the flow.
So with that being said, one thing we got to realize when we go reading the Bible, we can't read it as a magazine. First thing is the Bible is a history book. It's a history book. And if you go through it and you just read, just like a read along, then you're never really going to get, you're going to get exactly what you've been getting since you've heard it. And that's the same thing over and over. Adam and Eve, the apple, and, the end of the world. That's pretty much all we get. Ain't nobody telling us about the beginning of the when they speak of the Elohim. So Elohim means that there's more than one. That's plural. So when they speak on the war in heaven and Yah fighting with the Elohim, that means he was fighting against other gods. That means other gods. So he ain't up there. There's more than one. We just got ours. We got ours. Yah is ours. They try to change the name to Jesus, aka Caesar Borgia. That's his real name.
Mm-hmm.
But they fed us that to keep us away from who we are, who we really are. We supposed to be flying around this bitch.
I was just about to say they took out the books that will connect us to ourselves.
Yes, they took out the book of Enoch. They took out Jubilee. They took out Maccabee. They took out the main parts they took out the ones that's detrimental for our life.
Mm-hmm.
They took that away from us, and then they made movies about it and called it sci-fi and gave it all these crazy names. Really, that's the true shit. But they just threw a title on it and put it on the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
Tell a vision. They telling a vision. They telling us. You can't tell me my history. You can't tell me my history. You can tell me his story, but you ain't telling me mine. That part been gone.
Yeah.
That's what we got to get.
How does that factor into as far as I'm not sure what your belief system is about? There's this whole theory of thought about Earth being in a school and etc. How do you look at that part?
Well, I don't think Earth is so much as a school. Earth, once upon a time, again, I could go back into like the Orient, like the first two civilizations that ever greeted the Earth. Okay, so you got an Orient and you got a Draco. So what we messed up at is they was trying to speed people ahead with getting the knowledge. So let's just say like I'm a kid. I'm a kid and then all of a sudden somebody come and give me this big ass download. 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna probably bust or explode or I'm gonna do something really crazy because I haven't even been taught. I haven't even been taught to crawl, but you gave me a download to run. And that's what brought us to where we're at right now, trying to consciously awake everybody before it was their time.
Mm.
And it caused a bad effect, which allowed the doctrine to come in of being Christian, being Europeanized, and everything that we went through in our history. It started somewhere. We didn't fall down here as slaves. you go and read the Bible, it looked like we may have came here just as slaves. Like we did nothing else. And I always question, what was we doing before that? What was life like before that? Well, life on Turtle Island, aka America, was beautiful for us. Until these motherfuckers pulled up on their boats and we were so peaceful and welcoming and wanted to show and wanted to teach. And we did that, and all they gave us was some paper. And hit our ass upside the head with chains and changed everything about us.
I would still say that's part of a school though, because they had to learn a lesson. So
No, that was because of the punishment of being hard headed. You had to come here for being a hard headed ass kid. So that was a punishment. That definitely was a punishment. But don't get stuck here in the punishment. Learn. You hear it all the time. We from here, we're from there. Why everybody just believing it? Why ain't nobody doing their own research? How many people can say, both of y'all, raise your hand up if you heard OG back in the day say, woo, I can't wait to go to Africa to visit my auntie or my cousin.
I've heard a lot of people say that.
I'm I've heard more people say I got Indian in my family and I'm gonna go visit my Indian grandma than somebody say I'm gonna go get on this plane and go over here to Africa and visit my cousins now and go visit them. I've heard more here than there. Is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have Indian in my family, so I agree with that too. But I did trace my roots, my maternal lineage, so I know that I have. And it's kind of tricky because I don't even believe this geographic map that we have, but that's a whole nother topic as well. But I do know that I have roots back in Africa, Benin.
Let me ask you, how did you find out your information on?
Well, I did the ancestry DNA, but I didn't want to really focus on what they was giving us because like.
They're the Europeans who told us to lie anyway. We can't believe them.
Right. So I honed in on my maternal DNA. So from the maternal DNA, that is linked through every woman in my lineage. So I had to go and do some deep diving, like going back, pulling up names, comparing and contrasting with what they gave me, you know. And so it's still deep because I'm still working on it, but I've been working on it for years.
It's deep. It's definitely deep, especially when you're doing the digging. And I say everybody should dig for themselves. I don't think nobody should actually go to a site and pay somebody to find out who you are. You definitely ain't going to find out who you are.
Well, you're not even going to get the truth because you can look at the consensus. They intentionally misspell names. Like I have a consensus that has my great-great-grandfather name spelled 3-4 different ways. I have him listed with children. His children names are spelled different, you know. So I'm having to compare and contrast through what was given to me by word of mouth. I'm having to compare and contrast through the ages. I'm having if you just use ancestry DNA to find your roots, your ass gonna be more lost than when you started.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You have to know that okay, this can be beneficial, but I'm gonna have to do my own digging and my own research to combine and find the truth.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about the spiritual community because you find you guys, as you were just talking about your roots and where you are now, and then you're side by side with someone who practices something totally different. And I love the respect factor. And that's something you don't find in some communities. Like I don't want to specifically say the Christian community, but even within the Christian community, they got 10 different denominations with 10 different ideas. And so I focus on not so much what people are practicing, because again, I don't care because that's what you're doing. I focus on me, and that's what I love about the spiritual community. Yeah. Because everybody gets to coexist in their own belief system, moving and progressing in their own lane. And I think that's beautiful. Mm-hmm. So before we move on, I just want to tell the people that just joined our chat what we're talking about today. It is in the chat, from pulpit to oracle, love beyond labels and dating while awake. And we have the beautiful Rita and the masterful Jermaine joining us today to talk about being spiritual and dating. And they're not dating, they are married, but before they became a married couple. And I understand that your belief systems kind of developed as after you got married.
Yeah.
So tell me, is it difficult being in a relationship when your views are so far apart, where you're moving it in different directions spiritually? How do you marry those two things within the relationship to respect one another and still grow in the same direction?
It was hard at first. Me, I was still in my religious mindset. So we would have debates a lot. And they would get heated sometimes, and we'd just be like, you know what, just leave it alone. So that's where we were going at first. It was like when he was telling me his name not Jesus, and I'm like, you crazy. His name is. But then he kept bringing the proof, and it was shutting me up. Like, whoa, like what's going on? And then when I decided to go on to the psychic part and, you know, mediumship and stuff, which he already knew I was hearing and stuff. He knew my last husband and stuff was getting caught because I was hearing, and girls were getting caught because I was hearing. So he already knew that part of me. I just didn't know what it was, like figuring it out, you know, trying to figure it out. But as I went into it, we got better. That arguing about the Christian shit was over. Like, you know, it was like I was starting to see, you know, watching things. We would watch the history stuff together, and I was seeing the lies. I was, you know, was like, okay, here's the truth. And so with me being a theology, having a theology degree too, remember when I said I was mad at God, I didn't want to read the Bible no more. He was pissed. He was like, now you tripping. And how did you feel about that? Did you want to leave?
I didn't want to leave. I just knew that, like everybody who reads the Bible, who grew up in the church, it's really just a big misunderstanding that you got to figure out on your own. You know, again, you can grow up, just most people grow up with their grandma, their mamas taking them to church and telling them this is right. So for somebody else to come along and, you know, you respect big mama, you respect mama. So for somebody else to come along and tell you something different, then now you looking at it like, hold on, now you telling me my grandma been lying to me this whole damn time? So it's kind of like that battle over the respect thing, but at the same time, it's just like, I'm glad that you did allow me to show you what I was talking about, versus just on the defense with. I knew exactly what was going on. So certain things that you were saying and certain things that you was doing, I automatically knew, like, yeah, I'm going to hit her with this on this day because she said that. And then I'm going to go, oh, okay, you said that? Oh, I got this from you.
Yeah,
So
we was going back.
it was just like every time she hit me with something, I already had an answer. I had a video or something already prepared. Like, what you say? She would listen to this. Boom. So it was fun at the same time because we were growing together, and I was still learning for myself because, again, having the best of both worlds, I'm thinking my people lying, I'm thinking the church lying, I'm thinking everybody lying to me. So I got to figure out for myself where the truth is at. And she allowed me to help her with that, which allowed me to grow even more to help us all.
So do you think that you're more closely aligned in your belief system now versus than when you first started? Are you kind of in the same, is that better? Do you think that people have to be evenly yoked, with my church upbringing, but evenly yoked to be successful in a relationship?
That was never really, I don't think that was really for us to be focused on our walk. His walk with God, his relationship with God is totally different. Now, we talking to the same person. Absolutely. Make sure y'all talking to the same person, okay? Who is they God? Because as we know, these celebrities and stuff, they worshiping things. Who is the idol? Who is the person? Now, he made sure I wasn't talking to no evil things, you know, and I made sure he wasn't, and he was aligned. You will know them by their fruit. as we continue to grow and we weren't arguing no more, we weren't debating no more, we was bringing each other knowledge. It turned into heated to, all right, this is what I learned. And then he was learning the history side, and I'm learning the spiritual, the hoodoo, voodoo, mediumship, all this and that. So it was when we found out what we were doing, and I was like, whoa, shit, we helping each other to elevate even fucking faster, because he over there doing the homework, I'm over here doing the homework, and we figured out that's powerful. When you got somebody that y'all both working together, and they over there getting this information, you getting this information, then every rising we get up and we smoke our little stuff, and we drink our coffee and we bring together what we both learned, what God told him, what God told me, and what we learned, what we heard while we were separately studying, because we don't do this every day together. I have earplugs in and I'm learning what I learned, and he's on his channel learning what he learned, but we talked about it in the rise, and that's our meetings. And so we bond like that. We bond like that. Yeah. That's very important, y'all. And
that was my next question.
Yeah,
a relationship.
Yeah, don't be forceful. We learned to stop forcing each other to believe what we was learning right then and there. I took my time to say, okay, he ain't on the psychic part. Gotta show him. You know what I'm saying? Now he tapped in. He be knowing.
Well, I mean, I knew about it, but again, I'm the type where I'm gonna go and do some research for it. Just like before she jumped into it, I will always tell her, like, make sure you do your research. Make sure you that's aligned with who you are as a person. Because I look at where you're from, where you were born at. That's where your ties are at. Learn what's going on. And her people was from New Orleans.
Yeah.
So with that being said, that's pretty much what goes on. With a lot of blacks, a lot of Creole from New Orleans. So,
yeah.
Nola. Yeah, that's a city right there. I know that.
Just keep trying with each other. Never give up. If you love the person that much,
that's gonna be the thing.
To adjust, learn, understand. It's not
Patience. I got pissed off. Patience. When you pissed off, patience.
What's a spiritual red flag and a spiritual green flag if you're already in a spiritual space and you're dating?
Oh, if they judgmental, kick their ass to the curb. They won't let you be you. Everything you do is a problem.
Hold on. Get my pen.
Yeah.
I need to write stuff down.
Judgment.
Yeah.
Judgment. Okay.
Yes, you gotta judge me right away before you even really get to know me. Before that's definitely a red flag. If you even really get to know me before, that's definitely a red flag. If it's but then one party, all they want to do is just bash everything you're saying, but want you to understand what they're saying. Run.
Red flag.
You mean as far as spiritual or personal?
Because you might get with somebody that's not spiritual. Who's to say that person that you really like, regardless of y'all talking about spirit?
Yeah,
Was on two different ends. Tell him how when he came back in my life, I told him, you got to come to church in order to get to me.
Ask her what I said.
He said, you said he was coming, but he never came. By the time he did come, or was thinking about coming, I would say, I had done left.
No, it's time for you to graduate.
I left. No, but I left the church. But remember, I still had to graduate with them. So he came with me. I still had to show up. I left the church. And I had to still show him. Remember, I didn't want to even graduate. He was like, no, go on and finish what you started. And I was like, but they going to be judging and stuff because I'm bringing a new man, and they knew I wasn't divorced. I was not fully divorced. So I got all that judgment while we was pregnant. We got that judgment. Oh, she ain't finished her divorce. And people saying all kinds of stuff. We did not give a damn. We didn't do nothing. Let me tell y'all. Christian way, religion way. We not even what marriage license. We ain't got nothing to show y'all. We did our vows in our motherfucking living room. I told him I didn't want that problem no more. Y'all know the pain, the shit that we had to endure while we was trying to move on because these Christians and these religious people thinking, oh, they gotta wait till the papers are signed and all this shit. We do what the fuck we want to do, and that's what we did. I was a minister, and I married a person before. I married my cousin and her man. So when God told me you can do that the same way, like before these courthouses and stuff, people was getting married, shotgun and jumping over shit. They was making up their own stuff. So I told him I did feel convicted that we were laying together. I wanted to make it a sacred thing. And before the ring, we said our vows. And then I got this ring, then I got the second ring. But we did it our way. Y'all do things your way. Nobody controlling us. We don't give a fuck about no tax credit from taxes, the marriage credit. We don't care about none of that. Because love, all that paperwork and shit don't mean nothing.
No paperwork comes with love.
No. And that proves it right there, because back then it was, oh, the ring. When the last divorce, give me my ring back. Give me this back. Give me that back. I want my last name back. Baby, I'm so secure in this marriage. If I'm Brown or Mason, it don't make me no difference, okay? I know he loved me. And so that's it. When you building all this other shit that the world got going on, leave them out of it, because otherwise you're going to have a problem. I had to learn that, putting the past in them in your marriage, and that y'all, the counselors, sit your ass down and get an understanding. In all things, you get an understanding. Even when you mad, learn how to shut up sometimes. I had to learn that. Shut up when you wrong. Go apologize when you wrong, right? It's okay to say I fucked up and then make up. But one thing with us is I didn't want to go to sleep this scripture with being angry with him. What if one of us didn't wake up in the rising? Like stuff like that. That's what real true love think about. Everybody wants to show the ring and show off the marriage pictures and shit, but where's the real true motherfucking love? Through the family shit, because we done had family shit that could have broke us up from his side to my side. You hear me? I'm talking about y'all. If y'all knew this shit, y'all would be like, how the fuck y'all still together? Like, for real. But when you really love, I'll be patient with his family that cat fight with me, and my family that cat fight with him. And we don't give a damn what they think. This is us. And that's how it goes. The red flags is other people's opinion. Yeah.
You know, I see a lot of women who get railroaded in their relationships, not by their dude, but feeling convicted from other women. I don't know. And it seems like it's mostly women to me that will shame a woman for loving a man without the benefit of going downtown and signing that license. And I always be saying, isn't it about the relationship? Isn't it about that piece of paper? Don't give you a relationship. It just legalizes it in society, right? But I felt like I lived with my late for 12 years. And I wasn't even the one that was worried about marriage. It was him. And we was married for 10 years after, but I just always felt like if I'm committed to you and I made this commitment to you, a piece of paper ain't going to make it no more committed. You know what I mean?
That's how our great-grandparents did it.
Common law marriage.
It was common law.
So they got rid of that because they don't want, they got rid of common law marriage in North Carolina.
Yeah,
but we still going by what grandma and them went by, because I ain't never known for my grandparents to have no marriage license or a ring. They didn't even have no ring.
I was trying to tell my mom that, marriage, that's just how they control society. That's the reason that whole thing came about, a legal marriage. It wasn't because of a sin and all this. And I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. I just don't like the fact that you would shame somebody for being in love and doing the things that people, you playing house. How the fuck am I playing house when I'm paying real bills? What the fuck am I talking about?
Having real kids, you have the real babies. This ain't playing house,
and then to stigmatize children because they did the same thing according to y'all book that Mary did. Get the fuck out of here. I mean, this is you being. They so fucking hypocritical. That's why I can't take you serious, and I just can't, because you look back through all of the, and I'm saying their book because I know I don't subscribe to it. I'm trying to be respectful. Your book says that all of these people, they didn't have no marriage license. They consummated marriage through sex.
Come on, B.
That's what they did.
Hello.
That's what they did. So, but you're penalizing people for doing exactly what your book said they were supposed to do.
And then when a
It
person
doesn't
want to
make
be
sense.
free,
Contradiction.
when a person want to be free, reason why me and him said this too is because he had to go through the divorce stuff with me. He had to wait. He had to. It was all kind of stuff that they were putting us through that did not make sense. That was trying to, if we had to let it bleed into what we had going on. You know what I'm saying? To where it was, they was questioning when I got pregnant. Is this his baby? Is it? I'm like, listen. It just was too much, and there was too much a connection where we had to go through almost a year of detaching from this man. Like, gosh, I told him we don't plan to be split up, but if there's a baby, I don't want to hold you that long. We should not hold nobody that long. I'm not his God to say until they say the court date, this and that. Like, that's control. He should be able to move on. We should have been able to move on, but to keep having these court dates, got to relive and see this man and go through all the motions, separating stuff. Goddamn, who doing that again? No, I'm not speaking us divorcing because we said that. We ain't gonna go through it, so we ain't going through it anyway. To me, that's a curse. If you cursing your marriage when you asking permission and got to get a witness to sign that you got married and that you said to your person that I love you so much. We didn't even say that till death do us part because death ain't even fucking real. We didn't say that shit.
But we coming
The
back.
Bible is messed up.
Control. Control. It's always about the control.
Man.
And people don't want to admit that because they want to believe that they're living in their truth and they're free. But if your natural order of thinking got to subscribe to other people, we ain't talking about no entities or higher beings, I'm saying other people,
Yeah.
then you're not free.
Come on.
Not really. Not because freedom, even though
My happiness ain't gonna
people
depend on no paper because I done signed some paperwork or I done went to a church or that ain't my happiness is way bigger than that.
Everybody that did that is more majority that does that. Not everybody is not happy because you
So,
just like
Rita,
show.
I have a question. Can I jump in for a sec? I got a question. My question is, going back to what V has said a little while ago, what would you consider to be equally yoked? Because we know what the Christian standards of being equally yoked is, but what would you consider? What would both of you all consider being equally yoked?
You better be serving the same person. We serve Source, God, and that's that. And then we on our own journey. You know, you go within and you go at the same time. So I feel like we walk in, we speaking to the right person, the same person. That's equally yoked. But if he don't believe in Source or spirit, like, and he think I'm weird and things like that, like, that's not equally yoked. You not allowing me to be myself too is unequally yoked because you're trying to control me. You telling me that this not right, that's not right. That's unequally yoked. Judgment. I said that. If anybody judging, because when I wanted to do this, he would mind his business at first. Now y'all hear him around. Now he's the person that makes sure the cash app come through. You know, and he said when I go to do public speaking and stuff, he's gonna be my security guard. He's gonna stand by me, make sure I'm okay. That's equally yoked. Then let me walk in the light that I supposed to be walking in, understanding your purpose. If your mate can't understand your purpose, even though they don't know your purpose, you ain't supposed to. It's mine, not yours. Even in a relationship, respect my purpose. I let him
On a growth standpoint, for instance, you're doing the work, you're healing, you're progressing, you're elevating, and you see your partner remaining stagnant. Would you consider that unequally yoked?
Yes, if they
At
choose
some
to
point
stay
in
there.
time, at some point in time, you're gonna have to step it up. I mean,
Yeah.
stagnant is who is that good for? You know,
And that's
you
a
got,
sin.
you got one person that's moving ahead, and you got one person that's gonna be back. That's the problem within itself. Because the person that's back is looking at you like, damn, you leaving me. The person that's ahead is like, damn, you can't keep up.
Exactly.
Equally yoked is not knowing who you are. Y'all should know who you
Oh.
are.
I was just about to say that because my thing is sometimes it's not even that they're stagnant. It's that they don't know who the fuck you were to begin with. Because we come into relationships wearing masks. We put on these masks to get the man or get the woman. They don't know who the fuck you are. Sometimes you don't even know who the fuck you are. But how can you be successful in combining your lives if you're not real? And by that I mean your beliefs. What's important to you, the things that matter to you. We hide those things to please this person, to get this person. And when we get them, they have no clue who you really are. Then 10 years down the road or 5 years down the road, they'll be saying, well, you changed. No, this is who I've been the whole time. Now I'm just letting you see who I am. And that's why I feel like it's important to tell people who you are up front, what your expectations are up front. Because I say it all the time, I do not want no blessed and highly favored brothers. I don't want you. I don't want to be talking about it. You stay on your side of the aisle and I'm going to stay on my side. I feel like it's better for me to be up front because I ain't going to church. I ain't putting on the Sally Mae hat. I ain't sitting with the mothers. I ain't doing none of that shit. So it's best for me to go ahead and let you know up front so you know who you got and I know who I got. And if it's not a go, then you go your way and I allow you to go be with somebody that fits the persona that you're looking for.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Grown woman shit and grown men shit.
Yeah. People scared to come out of who they really are because they're afraid of the judgment or they're afraid this person that they like is going to feel a certain type of way about them. So now I got this mask on. Whole time this mask is eating my damn face off because I'm pretending, and then boom, an explosion happened, and then extra shit that shouldn't have happened. Be real from the get-go. What's the worst that can happen?
You know what the worst that can happen? These motherfuckers can't get the people that they really can't keep up with.
Yeah.
You put yourself in a league with women and men that are just out of your league. Yeah. You put this mask on to get there, and then when you can't do what they're doing, now you try to do that sabotage shit. You see it all the time with couples. And you see it a lot, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be biased, but especially with Christian couples.
Yeah.
Because women and men are encouraged to be fake as hell. They encourage you to be somebody that you really not. And if one person hear the truth, if one person start deconstructing, and I'm not talking about the religion, but just who they are, now you got a problem.
Yeah.
Because listen, y'all, I don't want no man that expect to eat by my hand every day because I ain't cooking. Okay? I don't want no man that think I'm washing clothes because I ain't.
But that's not how it's supposed to be. That's what the church say. Spirituality. Well, I was that type of wife the first time. It was that you gotta be servant. No matter we work the job or not. It was until I got with him and we would tell each other stories, about our ex, and he would say, the young lady he was with would cook dinner, but she didn't make his plate. And he don't care about his plate being made. See, that's another thing. When you get with your mate, y'all should be in the first beginning, like sharing with each other what you used to in relationships in the past and what they was used to. Because you're going to fuck around and find out that some of the shit is not a big deal, but you were getting it, but it didn't mean that you wanted to receive it. Because the whole time I'm thinking Christian religious mindset, don't let them drop a fucking crumb. Don't pick it up every day. Oh, hold on, back. All this stuff, because that's what the wife's supposed to do, especially when the man works.
And I grew up like that too, Rita.
Just doing everything. But when
doing everything, and they wouldn't even work picking up their damn crumbs. But I grew up because I watched my granddad went to work. He took out the trash and he handled the maintenance on the cars. My grandma did everything else. And he brought that check home, and she would say, and you better give me the check stub too, because it better match up. So I grew up with those values of the woman fix the plate, she cooks, she keep the house clean. But not if I gotta go out here and work 10 hours a day too. Hell, I gotta come in, and you want me to cook you a meal? Yeah. While you're at, we not doing all that. So that's why I started to break down what I was going through. So I was like, I was praying, God, I need a man like my granddaddy. And I had one man to tell me, I'll never be your granddaddy. And I slid his ass out the door because if I got to do the house duties, I I need a man like my granddaddy who gonna provide and make it
Yeah.
easier for me to be able to do so. But then I started, as I grew older, I started to see that was a mess too, because guess what? Grandma endured a lot for granddaddy to provide. And that's a whole nother topic within itself. So I started to deconstruct from that mindset of a woman should do this, should do that, should be. No, we gonna share these responsibilities. Period.
Think about it though. What does go? Y'all know I love the word, and there's some parts in there that's a lie, but God showed me what's the truth. A Proverb 31 woman. The church loved that. They don't want to live by it, right? And when you really go through the scriptures, what they talk about, she get up in the wee hours. Remember, I told y'all, God said we're supposed to be talking to God between the 3 and 5 hours. Do any of them motherfucking Christians do that? No, they don't get up at the time. And if they do, they praying all this loud shit, and they don't sit and shut up and listen. They hooping and hollering from those times. How I know? Because I was one. Oh, thank you, God, the whole time. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Making noise. You're supposed to be in solitude, right? That's what a Proverb 31 woman is. She really hear from God. Shut your mouth. And then she's supposed to be creating, right? When you really look into that Proverbs 31, she making clothes, okay? She's making her shit. She ain't getting up going to fucking work. Let's come on. She getting the land and stuff while they're sleeping. Listen, that's what she's doing, because by the time the house up, then she resting. She resting because she got to get up and do that shit all over again. When they sleep, she's getting the food and stuff ready. And then by that time, midday, baby, she's sitting like a queen. She's sitting like a goddess. We don't do that all day. 2, 3, maybe 4 hours, right? And then that's it. You taking care of yourself. You pouring into yourself. That's when you unequally yoked. Because now your husband is sick of your shit, arguing, or you fussing. He tired. Everybody unequally yoked because nobody went within. That's the problem. So now it's chaos in the house. Where's the love? You ain't loving yourself. How can you love your mate? Even when you in the house, ain't no wrong with kicking it with your man every day. But baby, there's the times where I get away and I be like, okay, I gotta go sit in solitude. He sit in solitude. We ain't meditating together all the time either. We do it every now and then. We say it ain't been a while that we need to meditate together. You know, we are no win. But other than that, his side, where his source is his side and mine is mine. But we bring it together. We share what we get. But other than that, is you better know yourself. Because how the fuck you even trying to know a mate?
Yeah, you can't know me.
Yeah.
My problem is I know myself too well. I'm being so honest. Like, I just know, I feel like most religions, and I know I'm generalizing, but most religions are built on the patriarchy. And I don't feel like the patriarchy is the natural order of things. I was even thinking when they talk about how men are supposed to provide and protect, that's not natural for them. I'm sorry, and I hope I'm not offending anybody, but it's not. Women are the ones that you'll hear say, I'll give my life for my child. That's a natural instinct in a woman. Men, it's more about territory. It's more about possession. It's not really about
I'm the protector that's going to not even allow you to come in the yard to get to the wife and get to the kids. You can't even come in the yard. So that's my job.
And then when you talk about protection, and I had a question about spiritual protection too, my mind be racing. When you talk about protection though, in a relationship, isn't it just as important to protect that woman's spirit and her emotions? Because it's not that, the body can heal, but there are wounds that are inflicted on people internally, spiritually and emotionally that won't heal. That will scar a person to the point that it rewires their whole brain and how they live and react to things. And I think that's something that people skip over. So I just wanted to put that out there. But I got a question about spiritual hygiene, spiritual protection.
So before we go to spiritual protection, Rita and Jermaine, can y'all give, for couples navigating different spiritual identities, what's one truth you've learned that could help them breathe easier?
That's a good question, Keisha.
For a man, speaking from a man's point of view, really take that time out. Get you some real quiet alone time for one. So you can get your head together so you can think clearly. So you ain't got all the hustle and bustle of the world in your head so you can hear clearly. Really be genuine with yourself. Because if you ain't genuine with yourself, them prayers that you trying to send up ain't going nowhere. You can't be real with yourself. How you being real? How you come talking to me about realness and you ain't even really just feeling that for yourself? So I would say for a man, really just go get that alone time for yourself. Really ask um, those hard to digest questions. So that's what we want to know about ourselves anyway. You know, sometimes it's hard for a man to go to another man or even go to a woman and speak about certain things. Well, if you can't do that, then we gotta know that we got source. We got the Almighty. You can go to the everything. So we just got to remember that for ourselves and get away from um, how society made us feel about questioning things and about feeling a certain type of way. We got feelings too. We have emotions. We go through things, you know. But we were just told to keep them in, keep them bottled up. Oh, you a man, you got to be like this, you got to be like that. Straighten it up, get your shit together, stick your chest out, you know. But in the long, me hearing that throughout my life, it definitely affected me when I started hearing the truth. Because I held so much in growing up. So when I finally realized, like, dude, you gotta let this shit out. Otherwise, you're gonna cause something catastrophic that you ain't gonna be able to change. I picked that up right then and there, and I started implementing that in my life. And yeah, that's just what you gotta do as far as, you know, being a man. Don't be afraid to cry. Don't be afraid to be emotional. You ain't got to be crying and booger nose all in front of somebody. Take your ass in the bathroom or in the room and close the door and get your ugly face on.
Right.
And then come out a whole new motherfucker. But that's what's supposed to happen when you release. If you release it, don't come back out the room with the same shit on your back. You just left and you just wanted to get it off. So come in with a positive attitude. Come in with knowing you can. We gotta know we can. We gotta stop doubting ourselves. We gotta stop putting our going by with the ain't nothing wrong with, you know, listen to what your daddy told you, your granddaddy told you. But guess what? They didn't know it all either. They was learning too.
Yeah.
So continue to learn, continue to work on yourself, and you'll be a whole better man.
I want to ask you a piggyback question off of that because you know a lot of men feel like their women supposed to follow their lead, and I noticed just even you two sitting here, you know, Rita's outspoken, she's strong-minded, strong-willed. How, as a man, how do you navigate having a woman that's going to stand 10 toes down on who she is? Because a lot of men do feel threatened, but you don't seem to have that issue. What is it different for you on your outlook on it?
I ain't gonna have it no other way. I want a weak ass woman.
You say that all the time.
If I see any signs of weakness, you could be beautiful. You could have the fattest ass in the world. I'ma holler at you with your weak fat ass.
That's so funny that you say that too, because
Yeah, I don't.
but remember I used to have some weak sides. I mean, when I showed that,
I mean, we all do.
you was
because we
my
grew
teacher
up.
though.
So
So
what?
your mate should be teaching you too. I used to think he was so harsh when I would give a fuck about certain stuff and he'd be like, why do you give a fuck? And I would look at him like, you so mean and this and that. But the whole time when I started working on me, I was like, damn, he was teaching me. Like he teaching me to not give a fuck. He wasn't just being mean, like, you know, saying stuff. It was the whole time he was teaching me. And I didn't realize that. And then when I would whine about certain stuff, oh, I used to hate when you say that. Yo, you a whining ass and this and that. And I didn't know, but all along he was just teaching me. So sometimes your mate can be harsh, but if you really listen to what they're saying, it's alignment. They speak in alignment. But we be so sensitive, we think it's hard. Oh my God. And that was me. I was, you know, I was very sensitive. I wanted I wanted people to say the right thing to me, but I would say any fucking thing to anybody, and he would say that all the time. But he definitely helped me to not be in that weak mindset. So when I noticed that, I'm like, oh, he don't like nobody next to him that's like this. Like, I gotta stand like this. But I was in the last marriage, I was like, oh, I'm supposed to stand behind him and I'm supposed to hold my head down. And a woman ain't supposed to really speak. Y'all know how them Christian wives are. And she stand behind him and he come in first. He the glory. And nah, like, and it's like, now I know why. Okay, I see now, like, he want me to check a motherfucker if I have to. Like, don't come home telling me I should have checked that bitch. No, did you check her? You know what I mean? That's how he was to me. So it was like building more of that Leo energy, because, what the life I lived, it kind of numbed and, put that Leo to shame a little bit. But he didn't make that happen at all.
And then one more thing on that. We got to stop worrying about who's the leader, because everybody, the leader ain't going to lead all the time.
No.
I don't got a problem with walking ahead sometimes, but guess what? If I'm walking ahead and I see something unfamiliar, I slow my ass down and let, hey, baby, I think this for you right here. You go and get up there. I got your back now. So now you go ahead. And then if you see something unfamiliar, then you slow down and you let me, we'll switch positions.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we just recognizing each other.
I love that, because that's exactly true. Because even in the military, they have different experts for different things.
Yes.
You won't find one person making all the decisions. Whoever knows the shit, know the shit.
Yeah,
and that's how it should be in a relationship.
Even with chores, we don't have I don't mop floors. Who mop floors? I don't sweep floors. He sweep floors. He don't do dishes. I do dishes. We have to make sure it's a dishwasher though. I don't do the bathrooms like that. He do. So it's what you good at. It ain't, oh, this is a woman's chore, this is not. Like, no, stop. We cause problems like that. Take the Christian shit out because Pastor them said that this wasn't. No, and if I'm not working, but he working, baby, he do. I make sure he have the things he need, but he ain't strict on it where, my bath water ain't ran. That beating shit. Like, no, I be like, oh, baby, I had a couple readings and something. Okay, I got it. It ain't no problem. And then when if he's not doing anything and I'm working, he making sure I'm okay. I'm gonna take care of Kings, this and that, all of this. And sometimes we be both busy and we have to juggle that shit together, but we make it work. Like, okay, you cook the meat, I cook the rice. Most of the time, dinner times, we cooking shit together. I don't really cook no meal by myself. He cooking the sides. I'm cooking what I'm good at. He cooking what he good at. So then we spending time in the kitchen too, and we bonding then, right? Yeah. Make it worth your while, not hard.
Yeah, teamwork definitely makes the dream work. And do you feel like, and I have one more question before you go, Keisha, because I don't want to dominate. If you had to tell your younger self one thing to look for in a mate that you know now because of you've matured and you're where you want to be, what would it be?
Definitely loving himself. Loving himself, because then he'll know how to love me.
Ooh, I like
it. I was looking for love, and then when the love found me, they didn't even know how to love me because they didn't love themselves. They was having a lot of issues. And I always said, now, I don't want no friends if they don't want to heal. I don't want no friends if they don't want to heal. Because me and my man did the work. So I don't even want to even introduce him to any other friends. He got to hear me falling out with them and stuff. And I'm not saying no women in the spiritual world, in the spiritual community, you don't fall out. But it's one that we had a misunderstanding, but we got it back right, though, right? So it's different to me, spiritual friends versus Christian, because nobody wants to communicate, right? To get an understanding. So I don't want no friends like that. Me and my man align, this my friend. If the friends ain't in alignment, and we're working towards alignment, I'm cool. This my friend. I'm cool with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Great answer, Rita. Jermaine, are you going to answer? We want to hear the male perspective.
So my answer on that is I would say just keep your confidence. Keep your confidence up.
So that person will have to have confidence. Because
You
you
are-
said if you were young, your younger self dating or looking into.
Okay, so my younger self dated, what I would tell him to do is to keep his confidence up no matter what the situation is. Keep your confidence up, keep your vibe high, because eventually you will find somebody that's on that same level. Because if you vibing low, you run into exactly what
Yeah.
you're feeling and going.
Yeah.
Just like the term said, why do you always find the exact same person to send
Every
you through
time.
the same shit?
Yeah.
We got to keep the confidence up. We got to pay attention. We got to vibe how we got to want more than just a cute face and a fat ass or a handsome, tall guy or whatever turns you on. It's more than that. What you like on it, what your inside's like. You know, where your mind at. That's why I would tell him, keep your mind, keep your focus. Pay
It ain't
attention.
always about sex.
It's definitely not always about sex, because I was a little hunting ass little boy.
People be saying that when they getting regular sex. Now I'm just playing.
But you know what?
Guys,
But it be regular sometimes. Sometimes we on the spiritual shit. Like tell them it ain't.
I'm talking about those single people. Y'all, we
Yeah.
might be thinking a little different because we celibate.
And see, that's what y'all thinking. That when you be on a spiritual path, for real shit. When you're on this now, before we was walking in this path, we was humping all the time, humping. Every time we get humping. Now it's more so we know now what sex is about. We know now too, like alignment. We know so it's more so, and it's the truth. We don't.
I like to
all the
party
time.
all the time.
You all the time, you do. But I sometimes be like, you know, and he do well, because I thought he would have been left. Because sometimes us women just, let's be honest, y'all, sometimes we just don't fucking want to when we in a bad mood and stuff. And see, my last situation was, you don't deny your husband. Remember, y'all know that scripture. You tell your husband no, you in trouble. God gonna get you. That's what I was always told. He respects that sometimes I'm just emotional. And it ain't got nothing to do with my fucking period. I don't want to, you know, and I don't have to deal with, oh my God, is he gonna leave me? Is he gonna be mad? Is he gonna this? He gonna that? He cool. But then when I say, come on, then hell yeah. But he ain't no rabbit to the point where if I say no, then I gotta worry about him going to cheat. Or I'm saying, babe, not right now. I'm emotional. Sometimes we be too fucking emotional, y'all, that I used to do that in the past, where I'm feeling some type of way. I'm emotional, but I'm still making him happy. I said I wasn't doing that shit in this one. And I love that he respect that. That if I'm just not in the mood, sometimes us women we don't want to bend over. We just don't fucking want to. It's a lot of shit already on our plate. And what I love about him is, baby, I ain't got to worry about it. And he's a promoter, and he be around women, and women inbox him. He do work with women. I don't care. I don't want to know him. I don't have to know him. But I know one thing my granddaddy always said, and I'm going to stick with it, is you can't control no man, Florida. He going to do what he want to do. And now that I know I'm an oracle, and he know I want to, he ain't going to try it. And he know I see it. So it's cool.
Even if he wasn't
You
that,
see me looking around.
to commit, so, you know.
Yeah, I never had to work. And he a truck driver, y'all. And even on the road, I never had to. Even when I was insecure, because when we got together, I was very insecure. And he helped me with that too. A man that see a woman insecure, instead of poking, this is why I want y'all to listen. A man poking you because your insecurities is wrong. I'm not saying that he's supposed to help you build, but love, though. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is long suffering, right? If he really love you and say, let's say a lot of these men be coming in y'all life, be talking about some, God told me to marry you. You my wife. All this shit. Prove it then. You should be able to help me get through some shit. All right? Help me through some shit. Be patient with me. Don't rush me. Don't judge me because my mama and daddy weren't there, because I got daddy issues. You hear what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying with him. Like, he helped me through it. Even times when I was crying and stuff, he helped me through it. He helped me through it. And here I am now. Now me and my mother got a good relationship. It was him too that was talking. He heard me doing all the whining and crying. He never one time said, I'm sick of hearing this shit. He kept saying, baby, it's going to get better. She gonna come around. And what she do? He said, told you. He was patient with me. Yeah, and he wasn't judging my mother either. No.
Okay.
I love
I
that.
don't, I don't know if I got the patience to be in a relationship because I be thinking to myself, one of my biggest issues is, and this gonna sound bad when I say it out loud, I don't want to get with a man that don't take care of himself health wise. I don't want to be nobody nurse. I'm just being so honest. Now you know sickness happens, and if
Yeah.
it's something that just come up, that's different. But if you live in a lifestyle that's not conducive to staying healthy, then I don't want no parts of that. If you drinking all the time, drugs, eating everything that's wrong for you, if you do got a condition, not taking your medicine, I don't want to be wiping nobody ass in my 60s. I'm just sorry. I don't want to.
Now that was the other way around for us. I was the alcoholic. He knew his limit. He had a shoulder thing that after 2 shots, that his shoulder do something, and he
I
know
get
when
that
the fuck
shoulder
it
lean, it's
start.
over.
But see, the
Me.
reason I feel so strongly about that is that's what I did in my first marriage.
Mm.
And I just know everything that I learned from him. And I always love him, but I learned some real important lessons. And I'm just determined that the next relationship I have is either going to be the fucking way I want it to be, or I'm going to be by myself.
That's true. He the one that helped me.
Say wholeheartedly the physical healthiness, but also I need mental health.
Okay.
I have to see you growing. I have to see you pushing yourself to, be on your comfort zone. I want to be able to have those intellectual conversations, even if we disagree. Let's step away. Let's sit with ourselves. Let's come back to it. I have to. That's a requirement for me. If you can't stimulate me here, and not just stimulate me, but stimulate yourself to
Yeah.
push yourself beyond your limits, it's a complete turn off for me. You can go on about your business because you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
I'll see you later. So for me, that is a requirement. And you got to be healthy too. Now, I think I got a little more leniency on the health part because I do have pre-existing conditions. And I don't want nobody to walk out on me because of my pre-existing condition.
Wait, Keisha, let me clarify what I meant. Because we all got health issues. Let's be real. I'm in my 50s. There's things, blood pressure, whatever. But when you're actively doing the exact opposite of what you need to do to
Drugs,
manage what you
alcohol.
got, you know what I'm saying? Like I met this guy who was diabetic. I'm diabetic. He's still eating everything he wants. I don't take that medicine. Oh, that white man ain't gonna have me up on this medicine. He half blind. He can't even drive anymore. And you still at the barbecue joint with your ride, dude. You see what I'm saying? You're not even acting like you give a damn. So why should I care? Why would I want to hook myself up to somebody
I
like
agree with
you?
you wholeheartedly on that, B, because I've been in situations where I'm like, I'm eating clean now, but your ass want to eat a hamburger every day. I can't
Got too much on the hamburgers now.
I know. I'm like,
Me too.
right. Hold on. That's one of the things. But I'm the one that's with the health. But I mean, I'm not gonna say I play doctor, but I do make sure he take his vitamins and stuff with me. Because if I'm living, you living too. You ain't
Right.
leaving me.
Don't leave me here.
I do make sure we take the vitamins and I order the teas and stuff. And he takes it. He takes it when I say, babe, this is a no meat week. He say, okay. And sometimes he be like, nah, fam, you eat your vegetables today, I'm eating meat today. And I'll be like, okay, cool. But it ain't to the point where it's like I'm on a health and he just like, he don't eat pork and stuff like that. But it is sometimes when I say no meat today, he'll be like, nah, I'm eating meat. But other than that, we both on the health thing together. Like we both just talking about how we went binge eating sweets. We ain't did that in a long time, right? So we say, okay, we're gonna stop, so we do it together for the most part. And especially the drinking, he the one that told me, look, you have to get this together or I'm gonna have to leave. And I was like, I'm gonna get it together because I love him. You know what I mean? Right. And it's his father. Why would I be selfish to keep poisoning myself, right? To go now, I'm gonna be single, raising King single. That's selfish as fuck. For King, him, we done built this. Like, you know what I mean? It was like, okay, I heard him being concerned, not trying to control me. So we got to learn to weed that out too. Is they really controlling you, or are they really trying to help you? You know what I mean? Yeah.
And I'm, I'm going off my mental list. So the other thing on my list was that he must be an orphan.
Mm. Why you
No
say that?
in-laws. I'm with you on that, B. I don't want to deal with no
Mother-in-law from
in-laws.
hell, the
I'm over
sister-in-law from hell. I don't want to deal with nobody mama and nobody sister.
Listen, let me tell y'all something. That is iron sharpening iron, ma'am. There's somebody, most of the time, when you know that's spiritual, you have that because you and that person at that time was the person that's supposed to be healing and changing the family. Me and him going through that right now. It's ironing it out though. We noticing that we are the chosen ones out of the family that's supposed to help everybody. And so all of this just happens because they see who you are, right? Listen, it's all spiritual. It's all spiritual. When they see you powerful, they don't want to fuck with you. You a problem. So you got to understand that it's a spiritual thing, babe. It ain't got nothing to do with the physical, you know?
Well, it was 22 years too long.
Yeah.
I just don't want to compete with nobody else's mama because if I have to deal with another mother-in-law like that, I'm slap the hell out of her. I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you because they not only undermine your relationship, they'll have you fucked up in here. You'll be feeling some type of way about yourself because things in the marriage not going right, it's always your fault. If things in the home not going right, it's always toxic people like that. And I think people don't take enough time to get to know who they marrying. If people say, well, I ain't marrying the family. But if they aren't able to put healthy boundaries in place with their family, then you are going to bear the brunt of that. And he could not do that. That would have been different if he knew how to put healthy boundaries in place and stand on business about boundaries. But when you're with a man that don't know how to put boundaries, and see, I was young and stupid. I kept thinking, well, I don't want to make him have to choose between me and his family. When I look back on all the hell I went through, all I could think about is how misinformed I was. See, that's that indoctrination that I grew up in. And I will never put myself through that again.
We are married to the family. We are. We can say that all we want to, but we are. His mama, he loved his mama. So I can't say that, and even, I'm not going to say it was some friction, it was some friction on both sides. But one thing about me is I'm a very respectful person to the point where I'm going to respect you, but I stay out your way. And then what him and her got going on ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm not. So I learned to not even be like, some women that be like, because the mama and them feuding is, she can't get in my car. She just like, that ain't none of my business. You know what I mean? But when I say though, I haven't really experienced the mother-in-laws from hell. It's more the sisters.
I have.
It's enmeshment, though. We're not talking about normal relationships.
No, it goes back to what V said, though. The healthy boundaries. Like, he got to stand on business about you. Because if he's not demanding commanding the respect, you damn sure ain't finna get it.
He demanded from both sides, baby. He don't even had to check me when I was getting all. He's like, I need you to stay over here and let me handle them. And I'm like,
exactly.
Okay.
But he handled them.
Yeah.
But some, and I hope that this doesn't offend any single mothers in the group, but some single mothers end up in emotional, incestuous relationships with their sons. And it is not healthy. Right. It's not healthy for him, and it's not going to be healthy for whoever he ends up with, because she is already emotionally in that wife's place.
Yeah. And
so the whole dynamic is thrown off before they've even had a chance to build, their.
And I went through that. My husband and his mom, the only thing that I could say, they wasn't sleeping together because I was sleeping beside them, but everything.
I ain't gonna go that far. But
his mom is so cool. I don't have that problem.
I know that there are good mother-in-laws out there, but I'm gonna say, like, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Keisha.
The control and the the magnitude of the influence she had over him, it was very diabolical. It was unhealthy. To the point where we could have had a disagreement at home. We can get in the car, we good. We drive all the way to his mama's house. He'll get in the and soon walk through the door and have a full meltdown. And she like, "What's wrong, baby?" And I'm looking at him like, "No, the fuck this nigga did." It was sad. It was something off a movie, Rita. I can't make it up.
No, Keisha, I got one better.
Mhm.
I buy you for Valentine's Day. Mind you, this Valentine's Day. I go to the thrift store and find this old vinyl record player because I know that's what you into. The sister and the mama show up with Jordans for Valentine's Day. I just thought that was weird as hell. I always felt like I was in competition with them.
For Valentine's Day? Yeah.
And then the most important part to me is that when it's time to make major decisions, you discuss it with them and tell me what we gonna do.
Oh no, honey. That ain't what we
I'm
doing.
a whole grown
And that's
man.
what and that was his weakness because they can only have the control that he
Did you
allowed.
see the alignment? When you
And
said
I
what
just
you
want to
said about
mean,
Valentine's Day, did you see Rita and Jermaine? They were like, "Oh no." And then you turned around and said what you said about the decision. They was like, "Hell no." Did you see the alignment in them and they thoughts? Like,
yeah, and see, that's what I'm talking about. I
I'm
want
not
to
lending
mean,
no money until I
huh?
ask my honey. Okay? I ain't lending no money till I ask my honey. We do the same thing. We don't even give them if it's the kids. We discuss the kids too. They needs, and it ain't that I'ma say no. It's just a whereabouts. So I shouldn't be asking what happened to the 25 that was, oh, my mama wanted it. Like, I don't give a damn. You know, and it ain't no shade to her, but that's ours first. You know what I mean? And so that's where we be like, okay, nah, tell mom we ain't got it right now. Or yeah, go ahead and give it to her. You know what I'm saying? No, it definitely we and our mothers understand that too. That's one thing I'm gonna say is they get that. So I'm the things that was going on with me and my mom had nothing to do with my relationship. And they stay in their lane. They stay in their lane. I don't know I'm really my father, but I met his dad cool, like, you know, his siblings is too. We sisters and brothers, so we go get into it. I consider them as my siblings. I don't give a damn. They
I
be
don't.
mad. I ain't moving around. I told them several times. I ain't going nowhere.
I ain't
You're
like
not
none
gonna
of them.
get used to me.
I ain't like none
going
of them.
nowhere. I ain't
I
going
thought
nowhere.
I ain't like none of them bitches. He knew I didn't like them. They knew I didn't like them. And I told him, your sister's some hoes. You taking marital advice from hoes. They, you know, do you see how they treat their husbands? I would never do that to you. And this is who you taking advice from? Because I had got to the point that I didn't give a damn. It didn't start out like that. You know, this is like year 15 of me being disrespected, undermined. So
You
I
was
was
tired,
like,
B.
yeah,
You
I
was
was
tired.
tired.
You
I
was
was
tired.
Sick
Yeah.
and tired.
That ain't
Sick and
tired. That's tired. You was just tired.
Tired.
But it's
And,
time.
and let me tell you, when he died, y'all, do you know them bitches put me on the obituary is one of his two special friends?
Oh, they was waiting to do that. See, we gonna already have that type of shit in alignment. Cause there ain't nobody gonna play.
But I knew they was gonna do it, but that's why I said I learned some valuable lessons. I learned love don't mean you're gonna be happy. There has to be some other considerations. And that's why I came up with this whole list in an effort to help me make good decisions. Because you know, you get in lust quick when you've been by yourself for a while. I mean, I'm just being, you know, honest. It's easier to fall for it because you've been by yourself. You're looking for that connection. So I just wanted a list that I could look at and go through and make sure that I'm not forgetting the things that are important to me. And they're important to me because I know these are the things I need to be happy and content.
Yeah.
Right. And I think sometimes
Your
women
morals and
start
your
getting
values.
desperate. Huh?
Your morals and your values is number one.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
And that's where I'm at. Because I want to make sure that I don't spend another 20 plus years or however long I got here in the wrong place. I don't have another time to start over. I don't feel like, because now I'm pushing 54 and I'm closer to the end than I am to the beginning. So I'm looking for ease and love and all of that good stuff. And I'm not against the relationship. What I'm against is being in a relationship just for the sake of being in a relationship. If it's not going to bring something to me that I don't already have, or at least enhance what I already have, I don't want it.
Yeah.
I'll be good with Adam and Eve till I leave here. And that's my good word.
Before we go, I have really enjoyed this conversation. I really enjoyed speaking with not only you, Rita, but y'all together, to see y'all energy together and how you guys complement and align with each other. It's amazing to see. I know that Rita told you about that group I asked you to start, Mr. Jermaine. For the men.
Or she won't.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we talked about it. We trying to figure out how to organize it.
So what I'm doing right now, as far as that part go, I'm gonna call it knowledge is key.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just putting a bunch of videos and different stuff together right now. So I got about 100, 200 videos it saved in my phone and different information that I'm putting together. So when they do hit, it's going to be like a big ass dictionary that fell out on your lap.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
All the way around the board, spiritual, just everyday life, things about relationships. Just pretty much tackles everything.
Right, because we see a lot of women healing, doing the work, and spirit kept waking me up, and it's like it's some men out here who desire to do the work, to heal, and to elevate. They don't know where to start, and we can't reach them. We can't reach them like you can. So I was like, okay, Spirit, I'm gonna tell Rita. Now they can do what they want with it, but I'm gonna tell it. So I told it.
It's time because for a while, he wasn't really into the meditation, but he, as we all say, I can't meditate. When I meditate this, like, honey, he got that meditation down packed now. Like, to the point where one time, I remember when you meditated so much, I was like, are you okay? He almost left the fuck up out of here. I'm like, wait, hold on. I see him like shifting into a different person. And I'm like, and I hate that I woke him, got into fear and didn't really see the spiritual part, but he was really like levitating. Like, it was amazing. But I was like, whoa, shit. I noticed it afterwards, but the woman in me got a little scared, like, bang, is you all right? And I woke him up out of it, and I was like, oh, fuck. Like, once I realized it, it's like, damn. Like, yeah, like that, to help the men meditate. I think that'd be a good one, too, because that's what helped him. But it took him a long time, because I kept saying, God told me to tell you to meditate, but I didn't want to seem like I was controlling him. So I kept kind of like easing it. I would say, can I tell you something that Spirit told me to tell you? And he said, yeah, like, okay, it's for you to meditate. And now, baby, I ain't got to say meditation right in seconds, But even as a woman, say it with love and kindness. Like I tell y'all, tell the person with love, hey, I think it's time for you to start experiencing this or experiencing that. And he will let me do readings on them sometimes to look into some things. And so, and here we are. Yeah.
I love this.
For the men out here, the men that's listening, try your best to get in tune with who you are.
Yeah.
It builds for a better life. It builds for, if you're single, to be in tune with who to deal with, who not to deal with, to feel vibes, to feel certain things about people. But that only comes when you in line and in tune with yourself first. You can't do shit for nobody else if you ain't working on you first.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Heart, mind, body, soul. Work on it. Get it together. Then you can go out and you can help somebody and get somebody a helping hand. You can't get me a helping hand if your arm is halfway cut off. I can't reach you. You can't reach me. So just take the time out to really just figure out who you are. Get some meditation in. Eat better.
Yeah.
And keep it positive.
Yes.
Keep it positive for you. Then you can keep it positive for everybody else. But you got to start with you. Everything starts with you. Me. It's 3 niggas that I love to death. And that's me, myself, and I. So
That part.
we got to all learn that
Yeah.
first. Then I can love you. Then I can love you. I can help you. I can help you. I can show you where I messed up at. I can show you that this road right here ain't the road. Keep going down this road. Keep the faith.
For the men, if a woman ain't allowing you to do that, that ain't your goddess.
Yeah. Definitely got to be on the same page. Vice versa, you know. Yeah, I mean, if you feel like that person, the other party is worth it, then, you know, put in the effort. Put in the work.
Iron
Put in
sharpen
the
iron.
effort.
Y'all should be sharpening each other's sword. Like,
I
for real.
can't sit around and want to be just so smart and know it all, but then I'm not even telling my wife the same thing. It's like, where the growth at really? This one leg is no longer than the other.
Exactly. So I thank y'all so much for coming on with us today. And we got 2 things. I wanna play a game with y'all real quickly. And also, before we leave, we always give a word for the week. So be thinking of your word for the week. But this is just a quick little simple game. I want you and Rita to complete the sentence together. And I'm gonna start the sentence for you. The sentence is love is.
Amazing.
I would say great.
Great. You said great.
Hey, amazing, great alignment. There we go.
You gonna ask me?
What's love? What love is, B?
Expensive.
It is, V. Time and money, baby.
Yes.
Don't focus on the bill.
Yeah, I was talking about the love, the time part.
Yeah, that's the bill. Don't
Yeah,
focus
that's
on
the
the bill.
deal.
Yeah. It is
Right,
the
baby.
time. Hey, love is patient, dog. See?
Sarah said you had that answer ready, B.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is my life right now. I spend half the time thinking I'm looking for someone, and the other half saying I don't want no fucking body. Why I keep putting this dating profile up? Then I deactivate
Oh
it.
my God.
I'm like, I'm all over the place.
I had a saying I used to go by when people look. I say, if you look, that's when you find the shit you don't want anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah, because he definitely found me.
Well, I just want to plug before we leave. Please join me on my live next Saturday where I will be sharing the results of the fake dating profile that I had up.
Okay.
No, I'm dead serious.
We will. I'm dead.
I posted it on my page last week, and I've been having that profile active in Facebook for the last week. And y'all not gonna believe the responses, so don't miss it. And we also,
I
Join me
just set
Saturday.
notifications on there. So
it's going to be illuminating, and the names will be blacked out to protect the not so innocent.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
One more thing.
Wow. Go ahead, Jermaine.
Come on.
April, yeah, April. So I'm in my I'm a truck
It's gonna be
driver.
good, V.
I'm a truck driver, but I'm getting out of that. I'm getting into my producing phases, and I got a reality show that I'm producing in Atlanta.
Oh,
And I got some backing. I got some people who on my team who want to make it work with me. And it's called The Core of Love.
the core of love.
It's a reality dating show.
For 40 and up.
40 and up.
So
No, I said 35 and up. I put a
35,
35 and
okay.
up.
Do we have the link so we can put it with our video, Keith?
So
I'll get it from him.
Okay.
I'm going to send it to her. She's going to send it to y'all. And yeah, it'll be big.
Yeah. Congratulations. Look, I'm like Rachel. Sign me
Now
up.
40 feel like a young man.
35 and up. So yeah, come on in, get on in. Everybody who's looking for some love, it's gonna be fun. And yeah.
and it's a real show.
Yeah, it's a real
It's
show.
a real show.
Me and Rachel said sign us up.
I definitely want to see that.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have the fly, the audition flyers and stuff. Whoever want to come and join, if you just want to come and just watch, it's gonna be a live audience. We're gonna have a band. It's gonna
Wow. Okay.
Awesome.
Give him a hand. Congratulations,
Yes,
Jermaine.
congratulations.
All right. I love to see people coming up. I love to see people getting their dreams. It just makes me feel so good for people.
Yes.
We
Kind
doing
of working anyways. He gotta be more around more. So walking his purpose. Love is the way to God, you know. So yeah, why not show people the real way? Yeah.
And if anybody need any promotions, I do social media commercials, I do the flyers, I do the logo, online interviews, anything to help push you, help you with your business.
I definitely need that.
Entrepreneur.
I'm actually getting ready to go into a meeting right now, where I've gotten an opportunity where I may be taking my memoir to the screen. So I need to rebrand myself. Yes, Rita, I was gonna tell you about it later, girl, but yes.
Even since we got the call, 'cause we got the radio station going. So stay in tune.
Oh yeah, I got the radio station. I'm on the radio down there too.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
So, we need to link some more too, Keisha. I ain't know that.
Yes, absolutely. And so also my other podcast, Let's Talk Grief, is going global on Melanin Talk Radio. So I'm excited about that as well. When I tell you God has been moving and ooh,
She was one that I did a reading and she left her job.
okay.
Yes.
I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful right now. But I definitely need to get with you because that is my weak point. Branding and marketing myself. So you have to recognize where your weakness are and be able to, I call it pay the lady, but in this case, pay the man. Because that is
On
just
my ass, and
I'm
I
it.
don't all right, but he stay on me. That's why y'all see me putting, because he be, damn, put your stuff out, promote your, like, okay, like, he on my ass all the time, so that's why I be on your ass, because I got somebody that's on mine.
Absolutely. Thank y'all so much, everybody. Thank y'all. B got some big things working too, but I let her tell her own tea over there.
He said, mm-mm.
But it's time to go for this week.
Okay.
And we do the word for the day. I think we should let our guests go and give us the word for the week first.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna say posture. Sit up straight and you align yourself. And then when I say sit up straight, that's just sit up. Recognize your power, you know, and hold it. And when you do that, you'll be in alignment. You'll be able to see better, right? No slouching.
I love that.
And for me, I'm gonna say consistency and persistence equals success. Take that, add them two up, and get success out of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to say, don't be afraid of new adventures.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah.
Stay persistent and consistent with it.
With a good posture, and don't be, what you say, don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid of new adventures.
There you go.
I love that.
That goes to you.
Y'all gonna leave it with me?
Yep.
This week, solitude.
Oh.
Sit with yourself. Get quiet. Turn the noise down.
Yeah.
Tune in. Solitude.
That goes with posture. That goes with posture. Alignment. And then that
And then be consistent and persistent.
Mm-hmm. All of that's great advice. And I hope you guys really take that to heart and put it to use this week as we go through our daily new adventures, because every day is a new adventure. And don't forget, we'll be back here next Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Today, we just did it a little early because Keisha has a commitment. So with that being said, anything else before we close out, Key?
If you haven't followed us on YouTube, Spiritual Tea with V and Key, please do so, because TikTok can do some things. So We gonna keep it rolling. We gonna keep it flowing. So
Thank
All
y'all
right.
for having us too.
Thank y'all
I
very
appreciate
much.
y'all bringing me up, but then y'all brought him up, had him come too. So I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
This was in alignment because I've been telling him it's time. But we had to have some arguments and shit before we showed up. So it's funny that y'all asked because this was when we was ready to come out because we didn't want to be talking about love and we weren't really basking in that shit, like for real, because y'all can see it. You know what I'm saying? So I thank y'all for having it. This is definitely divine timing. Thank
Yep.
you.
timing,
And
absolutely.
if y'all not following me,
You know,
please
I'm
go
from-
ahead and follow me. I am V Unfolding.
Yes.
And because my story is still being written, and I love that for me. Like I said, every day is a new adventure. So please follow me. I only have, listen, y'all, I was so excited because I've been stuck at 494, I think, forever in a day. And I got up there yesterday and I was like, oh, shit, T, I got 522 followers. And by the time I went back, that shit had dropped to 520. I was like, damn, what I do in 10 seconds for them to unfollow me? What the fuck?
yes, I love
The
it.
struggle is real.
I love it. But make sure y'all go follow V then. And
Yeah.
go follow V. All right. Well, it's been such a pleasure. I'm gonna take on out of here. I love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in for another episode of
Thank you,
Tea with Key. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye. Y'all have an amazing day.